Are cruise lines on their way to pricing themselves out of business, and have the cutbacks and policy changes by the cruise lines gone too far? Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, once in a while, we have to have a bit of a serious discussion. After all, cruise lines have been making a lot of changes. We definitely see that the prices have increased, and well, there are a lot of people that aren't happy. And by the way, this is across several different cruise lines. And the people that are probably the least happy are loyal cruisers who might be loyal to one brand or taking more than one, even several cruises a year. Now, I love cruising, and I think if you're watching this video now, you probably love cruising. So this is not going to be a cruise bashing video, but I do think that it is important to talk about some of the different things that are happening within the cruise industry today and how it is affecting those who love to cruise. Now, as always, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Okay, so firstly, let's take a look at the cruise prices and cruise bookings. Now, cruise lines say that cruising is very popular. Many times their cruise ships are sailing full. And yes, the prices are significantly higher than they were just a year or two ago. Now, in fairness, I don't think any of us can expect the prices to be the same as they were in 2021 or even 2022. And at the same time, not even 2019 and 2020, because of course, so much has changed. However, many people are saying they are seeing the prices of their cruises will more than double from what they paid in the past, and that they feel that they're being priced out of even being able to take a cruise. Now, when it comes to loyal cruisers, there is a particular frustration, as they were often the ones who would be booking one or more than one cruise a year and really sticking with the same cruise line. You now have many people that were loyal to one cruise line that are saying, maybe I have to look elsewhere, and they are deciding to book with another cruise line where they can find a less expensive price for what they believe to be a similar product. Now, other people are saying they simply won't be able to cruise as much. So maybe if they were doing 2 cruises a year before, they're reducing that to 1 cruise a year. And some people are saying that they're even going to be trying some land vacations even as early as this summer. Now, truthfully, I'm not sure that that's necessarily going to be cheaper. I've definitely stayed in hotels recently, and they are very expensive. At the same time, I was talking just recently with actually my manicurist. By the way, I decided to get Barbie pink nail polish, so let me know please if you like the color down in the comments below. But what my manicurist had to say was she's booking an all-inclusive resort for herself and her family, and she told me, Alana, have you seen the cost? She said, how did things get so expensive? So this is definitely something that I think that we are seeing elsewhere, but cruise lines are saying that they are going to be charging as much as the market can bear. Now, I would like to know your thoughts on that. Is there a limit? Please do let me know in the comments below. Now, beyond pricing, what a lot of people say is they're okay with higher prices because they always have a choice. They could perhaps go to a different cabin category. So for instance, if they had a suite, maybe they can go to a mini suite or a balcony, or if they had a balcony, they can go to an ocean view. They could even change dates for their cruise. But what they do have an issue with is the changing of some of the offerings on the cruise ship to basically have a different product than they purchased when they booked their cruise. And that is more of an issue for people. Now, I do think that changing the product in a way that feels significant for people that are cruising, well, that creates an unpredictability that I do think leads to less loyalty to any particular brand. Overall, I just don't think that this is the best idea. Even though I do understand some small changes do happen over time, we've seen a lot of changes happen in a short period of time. And even though I love cruising, I definitely don't think that's great for the people cruising or for word of mouth. Now, another issue that I think cruise lines might be facing, if not now, perhaps soon, is that loyal cruisers are not feeling valued by any particular cruise line. And in some cases, what they're saying is that they're seeing their loyalty perks erode based on the offerings on the cruise ships, and that generally the messaging that they're getting from cruise lines is that their patronage just isn't valued, and instead that cruise lines just want to attract first-time cruisers. Now, I have to say, I don't think it's really any of the cruise lines' intentions, but I do think that there is a perception, at least in some of the messaging. Now, in the end, I think a lot of times loyal cruisers do actually get some perks that are pretty great. In some cases, it's lower pricing. In some cases, it's laundry perks or beverage perks. So they do still have value. So before you do jump ship, give it a little bit of thought and perhaps do some pricing and looking around elsewhere. Sometimes the grass isn't necessarily greener on the other side. Negative word of mouth. Now, this is definitely something that we're seeing in particular on social media. Now, in a lot of cruise Facebook groups, these are basically cruise fan groups, you'd often see a lot of really positive things about a cruise line, a lot of positive information being shared, and that's great, especially for first-time cruisers that are new to that cruise line. But I have to say, more recently, I'm seeing a lot of negative commentary, and I can't help but thinking not only is that bad for loyal cruisers, but that isn't the best feeling for first-time cruisers to that cruise line that are coming in and that maybe feel a little bit of concern, a little bit of worry that they may have chosen the wrong cruise line. Now, if you've been on any cruise Facebook groups, please let me know if you've noticed this and what your experience has been. Value. Now, when it comes to pricing of a cruise, I think a lot of people do have tolerance for pricing on cruises. And I have heard cruise lines say that they really feel that they're underpriced in comparison to land vacations. However, I do think that, at least for me, over all of the years that I've been cruising, what I always thought about was the value of my cruise. And in some cases, I would pay a little bit more even to cruise on a certain cruise ship or a certain cruise line that I really felt suited what I wanted more out of a vacation. And I think a lot of people do that. People choose based on what has value for them. And in terms of land resorts, well, they sometimes can be more expensive and sometimes they could be a little bit cheaper. But what I do think is important is that cruise lines retain their value, not only in terms of price, but in terms of the quality that they're offering on the cruise ship, the quality of entertainment, the quality of food, the quality of service, and the overall cruise experience, because I do think that that is what makes people come back again and again. Now, by the way, if you're looking for cruises, don't freak out. Even though we see that prices are higher, especially on some newer ships, yes, I'm talking about Icon of the Seas, there are honestly still some deals to be had, even on your favorite cruise lines, so definitely do take a look around. Now, maybe these things bother you, and maybe they don't. That's completely fair. But if they do bother you, do let the cruise lines know. Fill in those surveys or email the cruise lines, let them know. And I can tell you, there have been reversals by some of the different cruise lines over the last few months or over the last year. But sometimes the changes the cruise lines are making are also small things, but they do in the end make a difference. Now, I'm going to mention a couple of them, but one of the things that was a recent reversal is on Holland America. They did have, it was a very, I guess, a nominal charge. It was an extra charge in their specialty restaurant Pinnacle, where they were basically charging an additional fee. I think it was $7 for an extra appetizer. Now, something they did is they did raise the price of their specialty restaurant. I think that's understandable. It was just a few dollars more than the price they had before, but now they do include more than one appetizer. And I think that that makes a lot of people happy, because then you do have the value of that. Also, Carnival Cruise Line has brought back late night snacks, or what they're calling a midnight buffet, basically fast food, late night snack style food, but it is something that a lot of Carnival cruisers wanted, and it is something that Carnival did bring to their passengers. Now, I would love to hear from you. There's no right or wrong, but please do let me know, is there a point that cruise lines could go too far, whether it's with pricing or whether it's with cutbacks or policy changes? Please do let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.